Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tavistock Talks podcast. And today, I'm very pleased to have the Chief Executive Officer of Andrada Mining, Anthony Viljoen. And he has announced some exciting news that happened on September the 9th, where the company announced a deal with SQM to develop lithium ridge. As far as I know, I think it's the first type of deal that SQM has done in Africa. And I'm very pleased for Ant to join me today to go through a bit more detail on the deal itself and a little bit more information about how the company's going to be progressing forward. And thanks again for your time.
Charles, thanks very much for having me here.
Pleasure. And let's jump straight into it. Can you just give us a bit of an outline on the structure of the deal that was announced last week?
So it's a basic earn-in, relatively simple to implement. So essentially, SQM are going to come in, spend money, contribute technical expertise up until a definitive feasibility study level. And that will also get them up to 50%.
And that resource SQM will be, how involved will they be in to help that resource take place?
We'll have a joint technical committee, so they'll be very involved from the get-go. We've already had a lot of interactions with their technical teams. There's a lot of good chemistry between their team and our team. So we're pretty excited that we'll be able to advance this and extract the value as quickly as possible on this asset in particular.
What do you think is the significance of this deal with SQM? I think I mentioned that it's their first salvo into Southern Africa. What do you think their significance is for them?
Well, it's quite interesting to note that SQM have branched off their lithium division. It's called SQM Lithium Global, based out of Australia now. This is their first deal in Africa on lithium, so it's significant for them as much as it is for us. Namibia, as we've always maintained, is an investment destination of choice in Africa. So I think it's a good mix between the parties, and we look forward to working with them.
Exactly. I mean, I read in the release that they've got excellent experience with lithium. They're one of the biggest players in the lithium market. How does the deal tie in with the rest of your assets? And the sort of supplementary question is, what do you think the synergies are that you've developed with SQM? I'm sure there's been quite a long discussion, negotiation period. What do you think the strengths are? How you think guys going to blend in together?
So we've mentioned culture. Culture is very important, but I think that there's a meeting of technical minds. So they've got an incredibly strong technical team. They're one of the market leaders in the lithium space. So they've got a huge database that we can collaborate with them on. So I think definitely outside of just the financial benefits, I think from a technical point of view, we're going to really be able to leverage that technical base quite significantly with it.
So obviously, lithium ridge isn't the only lithium asset you've got in the business there. So how do you think this tie up with SQM is going to help Andrada's other lithium assets and strategy going forward?
So we've always maintained that this Eronga region is a prolific region specifically for your critical raw materials and in particular lithium. Our initial prospecting focused on identifying historical mining areas with a wealth of historical data that would allow us to accelerate our development plans. And the idea was always to create a portfolio of assets within this region. And I think that this is now sort of putting pay to our strategy. It's unlocking value, latent value that was sitting on our balance sheet. And together with our recently announced drill results on Brandberg West, sets up a nice platform to establish ourselves as a portfolio of lithium producing assets.
So the deal's been signed. We're going to, I'm sure there'll be audiences out there that will want to see progress as quickly as possible. But when do you think you'll see not just the completion, but also sort of progress on the development actually on the ground following the announcement last week?
So there's been a lot of groundwork, so as to say.
Oh, really? Okay.
Already. We've already planned the exploration program.
Yeah.
It was basically just a legal sign-off, and there's a competition commission sign-off with the Namibian government, but we don't foresee any delays on that, and we don't foresee that delaying our plans. We want to get drills turning as quickly as possible. We've already got drill contractors available. So, we want to run as hard as possible and as quick as possible on this with the SQM guys.
That's great news. I mean, there really haven't been many deals of this nature in the market, in the mining sector, definitely during the course of this year. So this is really good to hear, especially not just in the lithium space, but also the critical minerals space as well. So in terms, just looking at it from an investor's perspective, is it fair to say that the nature of this deal increases the value of Andrada, and how?
Well, it definitely does.
Yeah.
The asset was sitting on our books at $2 million. So we spent $2 million in terms of exploration, developing assets. And now the entirety of the deal was probably worth $40 million for 50%. So it's a significant value uplift. And it does highlight, Charles, there does seem to be a disconnect between real life values and equity market values. I think it's been spoken about quite a lot. And hopefully you're going to see more deals like this that unlocks value for shareholders wanting to get value out of the stock market.
I think that's exactly right. I think it's very tough to raise money in the capital markets, no matter which market you're listed on. I think it's very tough at the moment, and I think these type of deals are the right way. A combination of partnership, JV, or even a deal like you've done with SQM is the way forward at this stage. My last question I wanted to ask is about Namibia and being a corporate citizen of Namibia, and I want to ask you how this deal really brings value to not just Namibia as a jurisdiction, as a country, but to local community. How has it strengthened your relationships with Namibian government, and just your position within Namibia in the mining sector itself?
Yeah, that's good. The Namibians, we call ourselves, it's the land of the brave. And I think that the way that the Namibian government has approached investors and bringing foreign direct investment into the country highlights, that this really is the land of the brave. It is a jurisdiction of choice from an investment point of view. The legal frameworks and the political frameworks are all designed to encourage investment, and by attracting one of the biggest lithium miners globally into a very early stage investment like Lithium Ridge is testament to the Namibian government and what they have achieved for the country and to unlock value for all Namibians. So I think it's a landmark deal for Namibia, and hopefully the first of many to unlock what is going to be a very exciting period in the growth of Namibia in the next 5 years.
And would you think then that would trickle down into the local community with this deal? Will there be possibly employment opportunities?
Definitely. We've increased the employment opportunities directly in Wies, which is a tiny little town. In fact, it's only a settlement. So we've got 400 new jobs. Each of those jobs has a level of dependency. So that's another 2,000 kind of dependents. So everybody talks about the multiplier effect of mining. And what we are showing here is the multiplier effect in reality. And long may it benefit all Namibians across the chain.
Great, Anthony. Thank you so much for your time, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Charles. Thanks for having us here.